Hola, bienvenidos! Welcome to today's lesson where we'll be talking about what sports you do using the irregular present tense verbs hacer and jugar. We'll also learn the days of the week. To keep up to date with the latest video quizzes, subscribe, smash the like button, share or comment. Vamos! In lesson 2.2, we looked at conjugating regular AR verbs in the present tense. The pattern we learned is also important for today's lesson, so let's recap it. Remember, in Spanish, there are three groups of verbs. A verb is a word used to describe an action, state, or occurrence. We have AR, ER, and IR verbs. To conjugate any regular verb, that is, give the different forms of the verb according to the person, use the table on the screen and the following steps. First, remove the AR, ER, or IR from the verb infinitive. For instance, escuchar, which means to listen, is left with escuch only. Second, check the column. Escuchar is an AR verb, so I'll check the AR column. Third step, check the line. That's the person or the subject of the verb. Suppose I want to say I listen, so I'll check the first line. Fourth and final step, at the ending you come across, in this case, an O, which leaves you with escucho, I listen. Muy bien. Now that we've recapped how to conjugate regular verbs in the present tense, let's use it with the verb hacer, to do. Hacer is an irregular verb. By irregular, we mean it doesn't follow the conjugation pattern, either fully or at all. Hacer is an irregular yo verb. It's irregular for I, the first person singular. With hacer, there's only a slight tweak you need to do. As usual, remove the ER from the end. You're left with HAC. For yo, or I, change the C to a G. All the other persons of the verb are now regular. So conjugate with me by adding the correct ER verb endings, which you can see on the table. I do. Hago. You singular do. Haces. He or she does, or you do for usted. Hace. We do. Hacemos. You all do. Hacéis. They do, or you plural do for ustedes. Hacen. Let's do that again. Escucha y repite. Hago. Haces. Hace. Hacemos. Hacéis. Hacen. Fantástico! Let's use the verb hacer to talk about what sports you do with the key question, ¿Qué deportes haces? What sports do you do? I'll just make a little side note here about pronunciation of the letter C, which you may have noticed when we were learning the verb hacer. It has a soft sound, a bit like the TH in English when it comes before E and I. For example, and feel free to repeat after me. Haces natación, equitación. Excelente. Ahora escucha y repite. Listen and repeat. ¿Qué deportes haces? Hago gimnasia. Hago natación. Hago atletismo. Hago equitación. Hago artes marciales. Muy bien, continuamos. We can use hacer to talk about what sports you do, but we need jugar, to play, to talk about sports you play. Jugar is a stem-changing verb. The stem of the verb is what is left with when you remove the infinitive ending, AR, ER, or IR. Instead of starting with jug, we add an E after the U. This means our starting point to conjugate this verb is jueg, or J-U-E-G. You now just add the endings as you would for any regular AR verb, except for nosotros and vosotros. I'm going to teach you a little trick that will help you remember when you change the stem and when you don't. As you can see on the screen, I've arranged the personal pronouns, I, you, he, she, etc. slightly differently. I'm going to shape them into a boot. If the person I'm talking about is inside the boot, then there is a spelling change. If it's outside the boot, as is the case for nosotros and vosotros, there is no spelling change. the endings you add are always the same. So let's conjugate the boot verb jugar together. Let's start with I play. It's inside the boot, so add an E after the U. Juego. You singular play. Juegas. He or she plays. Juega. We play. We're outside the boot, so no need for an E after the U. Jugamos. You plural play. Jugáis. They play. We're back inside the boot, so yes, you're right. Juegan. Let's go through it again. Juego. Juegas. Juega. Jugamos. Jugáis. Juegan. Excelente trabajo, clase. Let's use the verb jugar to talk about what sports you play. Escucha y repite. ¿Qué deportes haces? Juego al voleibol. Juego al tenis. Juego al fútbol. Juego al baloncesto. You've done really well in this challenging lesson. We can talk about what sports we do or play with hacer and jugar. Let's add in days of the week to say when you do those sports. Lunes, Monday, martes, Tuesday, miércoles, Wednesday, jueves, Thursday, viernes, Friday, sábado, Saturday, domingo, Sunday. I'm going to make it into a song so it's more memorable. You'll never forget it. Just excuse my poor singing skills. Canta conmigo. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, jueves. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes. Sábado, domingo, sábado, domingo. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes. You may remember the definite article el, la, los, las from our first lesson. To say something you do on a specific day of the week, use el. For example, el lunes on Monday, el martes on Tuesday, and so on. However, if you use los, for instance, los sábados, los domingos, you're saying on Saturdays, on Sundays, or every Saturday, every Sunday. Excelente! Now complete the quiz for this lesson. If you're a YouTube student, just click the link in the description. Otherwise, use the link from your teacher. Gracias! Adios! See you next lesson!